In the 40 years between 1870 and 1910, the United States experienced technological growth that was unparalleled in history. This growth changed everything about life in America and gave us much of the world that we know today. In our series of podcasts about these technological innovations, we'll continue now by examining Thomas Edison and his inventions. My name is Dr. Rick Gardner from Columbus State University. This is another Muskogee County School District podcast, Thomas Edison and his inventions. In our last podcast, we began to examine the work and ideas of Thomas Edison. We learned of the establishment of his laboratory at Menlo Park, New Jersey, where he invented the phonograph and the electric light bulb. Now we'll conclude this study by considering the development of another one of Edison's invention that has had an incredibly large impact on America and the world. I'm talking about the movies. Now this story may have originated with a bet. A wealthy man named Leland Stanford, for whom Stanford University is named, allegedly made a large bet with a friend regarding the way that horses run. Stanford believed that, although we really can't see it with the naked eye, when a horse runs, it occasionally lifts all of its hooves off of the ground at the same time. Now, the man that he was betting against believed that a horse always has at least one hoof on the ground as it runs. Now, whether or not it was actually motivated by the bet, Mr. Stanford was determined to find out the truth. So he hired a photographer named Edward Muybridge to help him resolve the question. Muybridge set up cameras all around a horse racing track, and as the horse passed by each camera, Muybridge took a picture. In the end, he had a series of 24 photographs. Now, taken separately, these pictures were unimpressive and rather usual. But when Muybridge stacked them, and then when he flicked through the stack while looking at it, here's what Muybridge saw. Wow! Check this out. Now, Muybridge knew about Thomas Edison and his lab at Menlo Park. So Muybridge went to Menlo Park and showed these pictures to Edison. He said, "Check this out, Tom." Well, needless to say, Edison said, "Wow." And immediately Edison's mind went to work. See, in order to accomplish this effect, Muybridge needed 24 separate cameras, a moving object, and a great deal of space. Fortunately for Edison, that process was too complicated for it to catch on popularly. So Edison began to think of a way to make the process less complicated. As a result, Edison invented and patented a machine he called the kinetograph, from the Greek words kineto, which means motion, and the word graph, which means picture. In other words, he patented a motion picture camera, a movie camera. Edison had invented a machine that made moving pictures. And these motion pictures soon gained a cute little nickname from the crowds of people who loved to look at them. People called them the movies. Well, Muybridge suggested that Edison should combine his invention of the phonograph with the invention of the motion picture camera. Edison did make a few such films, but it wasn't until 1928 that all movies began to be produced with the corresponding soundtrack. And for a while, these new motion pictures with sound were referred to by everyone as the talkies, rather than just the movies. But as you know, the name movies eventually came back, and that remains the most popular word that we use today for motion pictures. Now, Thomas Edison held the patents on all the movie cameras. But there were a whole lot of people who had unauthorized movie cameras who were making their own movies. Since Edison was easily able to enforce his patents on the East Coast of the United States, people who wanted to make unauthorized movies decided to take their operations as far away from the East Coast as possible. As a result, the little town of Hollywood, California, which was about as far as one could get from New Jersey, was chosen as the hometown of the independent motion picture industry. And California had a reputation for not enforcing United States patents. A series of lawsuits resulted in the end of Edison's corner on the motion picture industry in 1918, and Hollywood quickly became the entrenched center and hometown for movie making, and it has remained so ever since. Now, we could talk about many of Edison's other inventions, but we have covered three of the most important: the phonograph, the electric light bulb, and today, the movie camera. Wow, what an important man in the history of the United States, Thomas Edison. My name is Dr. Richard Gardner from Columbus State University. This has been another Muskogee County School District podcast, Thomas Edison and his inventions.